Welcome to this week's Hymn of the Week. This week we have ELW 393, A Hymn of Glory, Let Us Sing. The text by Bede, or by the Venerable Bede, an English Benedictine monk, as we can see his date 673 to 735. Originally this hymn had 7 verses that he constructed, and he was pretty well known, mainly for his ecclesiastical history of the English people. So he had the nickname, or the title actually, the title of Father of English History. So this hymn that we see in 5 verses came down from 7 verses. The first verse, the last verse really comes from another translation. So we have 2 translations here. One is by Webb and one is by Charles. The Webb translation really incorporates 5, maybe 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 I believe is more Charles. So what I can say about that is that it says here, translated Lutheran Book of Worship, the LBW did modify those texts in the 70s. We don't know who modified those texts, but then after that it was basically very close to the Webb text, which is what we see now today. Now, if we look at the music, it says Geistliche Kirchengesänge Köln, so Cologne in 1623. And this Geistliche Kirchengesänge, which means spiritual church songs that were taking place in Cologne in Germany, is a very well-known tune, Lasst uns erfreuen, or Let Us Praise. We have this wonderful form of A, B, B, C, C, D, D, E, E, and then F. So most of the lines are repeated, or most of the themes and motives are repeated, so it makes it very easy to learn, and it works within the scale or pattern. So we don't know who composed it or what, but we do know that it was really taking place as a spiritual song in the church in Cologne, Germany in the 17th century. So for this hymn, it's still in the Easter section of the hymnal. I'd like to explore the idea of chorus reeds, or the concept of chorus reeds and solo reeds. So chorus reeds are when you add a reed and it becomes part of the chorus. So here you can hear it's part of the sound, right? Solo reed is one that would basically be a solo, so it would stick out a bit. So as I select those, I'd like us to think about, or I invite you to think about, the idea of how we can sing that song of God's glory as a chorus, so as a team, and how sometimes we need to maybe step out and say something on our own because God has put that on our heart. So interesting little perspective I'd like to take. Here is ELW 393, A Hymn of Glory, Let Us Sing.
Praise
So I used ideas from the reharmonization for the last verse from Hal Hobson. And what's interesting, most of us know this with the half note being the count. This is the version where the quarter note is the count, so in 3/4, slightly, well, it's more that we're counting by the quarter note, but it's also still the tune Lasst uns erfreuen. Thank you very much for listening to Hymn of the Week.